Woo! That was a close one. Welcome to Film Stash. Today we're going to be talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. In Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, centuries after the reign of Caesar, the planet is now completely taken over by apes spread across the planet. And we focus upon a young chimpanzee named Noah, whose village gets completely ransacked by a bunch of mysterious apes who are doing these acts under the name of Caesar. Now, with a couple of friends he makes along the way, he seeks to find the ape in charge of the ransackings, and ultimately to discover the secrets of the earth along the way. The visual effects across the board are very well done. It keeps in line with the previous trilogy in how it looks pretty realistic all the way around. From the movement of the fur, to the nostrils, to the wrinkles in the face. These apes look like real apes still. Now, if you're someone like me who likes all of the films, like warts and all, now they have several Easter eggs hidden throughout the film that don't completely detract from the current story that is being told. And I think that's quite a bit of fun. They even have musical motifs thrown in from the original films, reincorporated back into the modern films as well. And it adds to the suspense, and seeing these kind of things as a fan, I think it is awesome to see. A thing that I appreciate about this film compared to the previous series of films from like the 60s and 70s is that the world itself is expanding. You actually feel like it's a planet of the apes.
Planet!
You get to see these different locations, these different atmospheres of like the city and the sea. You get to see all these different areas, and it really feels lived in and real, and it truly is beautiful to look at for almost like 3 hours. The film ultimately tackles legacy, because when you look at the previous 3 films, it covers the life of the revolutionary Caesar, and moving into this one, it covers the aftermath of Caesar upon the world. Now, what would those teachings do? How do you interpret it? And I think it's an interesting concept in terms of how it's presented in film amongst these different factions of apes. Now, like what I was describing earlier, the CGI of the apes in general are amazing. But the one thing that I'm kind of like iffy on, it's the birds. Now, the birds themselves looked pretty fake most of the time, which is weird because like everything else looks pretty real and the birds are just everywhere in these movies. So to see like a bird on like your arm and it's fake, it took me out of it for a couple seconds, but it wasn't a complete like trashing of the film for me. Now, the villain himself, Proximus Caesar, I honestly thought the performance all around was pretty great. He was intimidating, and he certainly is a great foil for this new chapter in discussing what legacy can do. But the one thing I kind of wish is that he was around a bit more. I mean, that could just be me, but I personally liked that presence, that villainous presence the entire time. Well, it's that time again. It's time for intermission. Ooh. Anyway, it's let's see. So we got a banana flavored one, as you can see here. Yeah, that one it looks very yellow. Let's just eat it. Oh wow. Stop. Yeah, no, this is actually really good. Like I wasn't expecting it to be good, but this one's pretty tasty. You could definitely taste the bananas in there. I don't know, like I would give this a solid 6 to 7 out of 10. That is actually really delicious. Are you gonna throw any more popcorn at me? As much as I love this movie overall, and I love the exploration of the planet itself, there were some points where it felt like it dragged on just a little too long here and there. While I enjoyed it at the time, eventually once it got near the end, you could feel that 2.5-hour runtime start to commence, and I was getting a little antsy in some places. But generally still, I enjoyed it. It's not the biggest negative in the world, but that's just kind of how it felt after a while. Now, because this entry in the Apes saga is quite different compared to the previous ones, I actually would like to invite someone here to discuss it with me. Sean. Alright, Papa Squat. Alright, so, can you tell us your name?
My name's Sean.
Alright, so, now, have you seen any of the Planet of the Apes before? Any of the previous trilogy?
I saw the first installment to the new saga.
So you saw Rise of the Planet of the Apes back in however long ago?
Probably 2013.
Probably around there, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so this was your first time, like, revisiting the world since then. What did you think of this film?
Your breath smells like peanut butter. It was a great film. I don't think you would have had to see any of the previous installments to enjoy this one.
Right. Well, I definitely felt that same way too.
You're so warm. It was really good. Because the beginning starts with a spoiler from the previous installments, but it leads into a new world practically hundreds of years into the future, to where anybody can enjoy it.
Yeah, it definitely stands on its own in that front. At least I feel that way. You feel that way too?
Oh yes, most certainly stands on its own.
Now, do you feel like you'd be compelled to revisit the other two movies?
Oh, most certainly. I could see myself sitting down and binging a couple of them even.
Yeah, like the whole trilogy and this one? Yes,
I think it's a really well-animated movie. The storyline is pretty encapsulating. It's a wonderful story told of an apocalyptic future that is different than, zombies or nuclear warfare. It's different than anything you could see otherwise.
Oh, for sure. Well, thank you very much, Sean. Do you have anything else you'd like to say before the segment ends?
My chair.
Shit. Now, for this week's recommend, I actually would like to recommend to you the original Planet of the Apes movie. Now, this one was made back in 1967. It's considered a sci-fi classic. Now, some things are going to be very cheesy and corny in there, but generally, it is a fantastic movie also. If you want to proceed and go on to the sequels, it's a pretty mixed bag. Some are enjoyable, but then others are just kind of downright bad. Go for it if you want to, but definitely check out the original. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is a great continuation to an already fantastic reboot. I would give this film an 8.5 to possibly 9 out of 10. I could definitely see it going up as time moves forward. Well, that's all the time we have for today here at Film Stash. My name is Douglas Campbell, and if you excuse me, I gotta add to the stash.
Who the hell are you? No! 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 No!